Another round of NBA playoff game twos tip off tonight, so let's talk some hoops with David Shepard, host and executive producer of Sirius XM NBA Radio. David, I did my research. I saw the interview with you and Dexter Henry over the weekend. So now, thanks for joining us. I want to press you on this one. You told Dexter that the Bucks will gentlemen sweep the Heat. Miami took game one, and Giannis might not be 100% tonight or even for the rest of the series. So you still stand by that?
Well, first off, Brandon, thanks for having me. And yes, you have every right to press me, considering the Heat basically took the Bucks to the woodshed in game one. But in my defense, nobody saw Giannis actually playing 11 minutes in that game. Obviously went down early with the back injury, tried to give it a go and just tried to gut it out. That clearly was not going to be an answer for Giannis and the Bucks, as he only was, again, held to 11 minutes. And when you talk about the three-point shooting, I mean, Brandon, the Miami Heat, a season-high 58% from downtown, and the Bucks were known for being an incredible three-point shooting team this season, just 24%. And yet, with all that being said, the Bucks were still down just 4 points late in the third quarter without Mr. Superman. And speaking of that Superman, now we understand, you know this being a professional athlete, the Bucks are a team that is so predicated on team basketball, but their MO is going to be how Giannis recovers and plays through this injury. The hyperextended knee was a huge issue back in the 2021 playoffs, and there was doubt whether he could go against the Phoenix Suns. Well, all he did was 40 points 3 different times in that finals. That's only been done 3 other times in the last 50 years. Shaq, LeBron, and MJ. So if there is such thing as a modern-day Superman, I'm sorry, Cam Newton, it is Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's why I am still sticking with a gentleman's sweep, believe it or not.
All right, you're sticking with it, and you said it with your chest. I love it. But I think we both can agree to tell Reggie Miller that Giannis means more to the Bucks than Tyler Hero means to the Miami Heat. He was Reggie was tripping on that one. But let's go to the left coast, the West Coast. The Lakers are up 1-0 against the Grizzlies, and it doesn't look like Ja Morant is going to be active tonight. Is it safe to say that this series is pretty much over?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you talk about a really bad landing when he tried to brace with that right hand, and we saw what happened. He's going to be a game-time decision. When you have Austin Reeves going for 14 points in the final frame, and you have Rui Hachimura going for 29 points, and then you have D'Angelo Russell, who proves that he is a lethal outside shooter. Anthony Davis had 7 blocks and 3 steals in that last game. That's only been done one other time this past decade in the postseason, and he wasn't even the story on offense. And LeBron James, this is the typical feel-out game one from LeBron. So we know the greatness of LeBron is going to be on full display in game 2 and game 3. Game 1 is always a test of waters kind of game for the King. And so you talk about a fit Hachimura, Reeves, Bayless, Vanderbilt. I mean, Beasley, this team is incredible, and they're only going to get better. And Jaren Jackson Jr., credit to him for keeping the Grizzlies in that game 1. He's unbelievable, particularly with both hands in the paint, in the interior. But the Grizzlies just don't have enough. Sorry, Dylan Brooks, you're going to lose again early in the playoffs.
Yeah, you talk about that roster that LeBron put together. It was almost, game 1, it was almost like it was a load management game for him, and he was playing. He didn't have to do much. All right, let's talk about what I like to call the least sexy series. The T-Wolves and the Nuggets. Minnesota got blown out by Denver in game 1. If Denver wins tonight, is it safe to say that this series is a wrap?
Brandon, the answer is no, because the Timberwolves are just too lethal in terms of talent. I know Karl Anthony Towns has dealt with the calf issue the entire season. You talk about an individual in Mike Conley. He knows he's not going to get too many more opportunities being in year 16. Anthony Edwards, I understand he had a really bad play-in game his first time around versus the Lakers, but he bounced back in spades. And so you talk about Gobert and what he is on the inside, neutralizing Nikola Jokic. Now, the difference in this game was the third quarter when the Nuggets outscored the T-Wolves 32-14 in that frame. Karl Anthony Towns, a guy who basically averages 25 points per game for his career, 21 points per game this season, was held to a goose egg. Meanwhile, Aaron Gordon gets the free throw line, makes 5, and also has 8 points. That's not going to happen. So even though the Nuggets are favored in this series, you talk about that roster and the talent that they have, knowing that they were in the postseason last year, I don't see this being a 4 or 5 game series, despite the fact that, yes, the Nuggets completely ran away with game 1. But Karl Anthony Towns, would you please stop shooting threes and get your butt in the paint like Nikola Jokic did in game 1. That's all I'm saying. And Chris Finch, if you're hearing me, if you're listening right now to Brandon and myself, just please tell Cat to get in the paint and shoot a jump hook shot, for God's sakes. But this is going to go 6 or 7.
Karl Anthony Towns, we love you here in New York and New Jersey, but yes, chill with the threes, man. Chill with the threes.
Yes.
David, thanks for joining us, my man.
My pleasure, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me. Great meeting you, man. It's an honor to be on with you.